The following content is for mature audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
You are now listening to No Free Drinks, the not your ordinary dating, relationships, and sex advice podcast.
Join me, Westley, your Keeps It Real co-host. We were going out, I would say steady for like 6 to 8 months. We just abruptly stopped having sex. So why are we not getting freaky? Like, what the fuck's going on? So she's like, no, because I've renewed my faith in God. I know how I am. Like, I'm not going to get no cheeks. I'm going to cheat on you. Brock, your Knows-It-All co-host.
And then my go-to hookup one has always and will forever be Tinder. It's just like in the bathroom, like, cool, I got these 5-10 minutes. Like, just thumb game strong. Like,
and Lina D, your No-Chill co-host.
Oh, so do you go down on women? And there were a few men that said, no, like, I don't believe in that. And then I was like, oh, well, I don't believe in fucking you, so we should probably end this.
Shit. God. That's harsh as fuck.
I mean, it's harsh as fuck to say you're not going to eat my pussy out.
Join us every Wednesday for
all type of societal norms being turned upside down. Hey guys, this is Brock. Welcome back to another episode of No Free Drinks. I'm joined by my co-host.
Hey, it's Westley.
Hey, it's Lina D.
And as promised, we're doing the 2-part series for the penis called The Python of Love.
Oh, man, we're not dickologists.
Well,
I love that python.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, oh, boy. And we're off already. We're off already. So we figured we'd start off with the basics. So pretty much the etymology of the word penis. So the word penis is derived from the Latin word for tail, which pretty obvious. It's tail in the front. Some hair on it. So yeah.
Trunk in the front.
Then the Greek translation of phallus is swell. And then later on, the word came to describe items of penile nature in Latin. And also, since Lina D quizzed us in the 2-part vulva series, and we did miserably, we'd figured we'd flip the script, and we're going to quiz Lina D on the basis, the parts of the penis. And I'm going to have Wesley do that since I can't pronounce his big-ass word. So the homie
right.
Wesley, I'll take that over.
Quiz you on this dick.
Yeah. I have a PhD in dick.
What? All right. So, can you name all 3 of the dickhead parts?
The dickhead part?
Or the dick parts?
Okay. So, well, I think it's actually a couple ways to look at it. So I'm going to go into both of them.
What?
So the dick itself is made up of 3 main areas, which is the root of the penis. So the root of the penis actually connects to the fatty layer of whatever your genital area is. So the root is actually made up of like muscles and like all the special parts, which we're not going to get into because they're boring.
Wow. Those are boring.
And then there's the shaft of the penis. And then finally there's the head of the penis, which is called the glans. So that's kind of the elementary way to think about it. So, and then there's more parts. Should I go into the other parts or do you have other questions for me?
Oh, no. You might have got that right. We'll see. Survey says, ding, ding, ding. You got it right.
Yeah, you got it right. Damn it. This is a night and day of our quiz.
This is not how I ideally wanted to have this go. So, what are the 2 columns of tissues that runs to the head?
So it's 2 types of tissue, but there's actually 3 columns that make up the penis.
Oh,
because
you
there's
caught that.
Trick question, motherfucker.
Okay.
So there's the corpus spongium,
See, that's why I didn't want to do the quiz.
Spongiosum. So the corpus spongiosum is the central column that actually has the urethra run through it. And it's meant to be more of what transports the semen, right? Whereas the other two columns are the corpus cavernosum, I think.
Man.
And those are
Close
more
enough.
Yeah.
and then those are the ones that have a little bit more dense tissue because that's where most of the blood flows through. So that's what makes the penis erect. Mostly responsible for that. And they don't have anything flowing through it. It's just the spongiosum that has like the urethra flowing through it.
I don't know, man. You may or may not have a PhD in this, but you're right.
Gold star for you.
Man.
Yay. I was always a star pupil.
I should throw something at you.
Well, Lina D, you got all those questions right, allegedly. So,
Are there more questions?
yeah, there's one question. So, how does the semen get out?
So the part that so it's interesting that the balls aren't considered a part of the penis, but they are a part of the penis because the testicles are where the semen or the sperm are held. And actually what ends up creating the semen is
Some good vagina.
is it the vas deferens? Is that? I think it's called the vas deferens. But it's basically where the sperm ends up meeting the seminal fluid. And then the prostate is actually what ends up making sure that the urethra only has either semen or urine in it at a given time. So you could never physically have urine and semen coming out of a penis at the same time.
That would be weird though, but you're absolutely correct about that too.
It was the vas deferens, right?
Yeah.
I had to like dig back for that one because I don't consider it like a pleasure thing, but it is involved in making semen. So
Yeah.
And side note, the testicles, I remember this from health class, are slightly colder than the normal human body temperature.
3 degrees cooler.
Yep, to keep the
spermies.
the little mini means ready to go.
Yep.
But that's also why like the balls sort of elevate and descend from the body because it's all about temperature control. So like the balls get their own temperature control. It's kind of like AC or heat.
Also very sensitive. When they get hit, that shit hurts. That shit hurts. Oh my Jesus.
I don't know. Like if I smacked him dick, it was kind of hard.
Wait, what did you smack your dick with?
No, like someone like hit my penis while I was hard, and that shit hurt.
Like playing?
Yeah, like playing.
Oh,
But it was just
no.
like,
I don't like that type of playing.
you trying to hurt me? You
That
trying to kill
sounds
me?
rude.
You trying to kill me? What the fuck? So you're absolutely correct about all that. So Lina D, got a question for you.
Yes.
Do you like circumcised men or uncircumcised men?
I've asked myself this question all the time.
Or does it even matter?
Does
And
it
the
even
thing
matter?
is that when the
Yeah.
penis is inside of you, it doesn't matter, but it's when the foreplay that it matters so much.
Oh man.
Interesting. Okay.
Because, so the first dude I ever slept with had an uncircumcised penis. And it was a little confusing, like
What the-
finding the head.
You gotta
Because-
pull the skin back.
I know you have to like pull it back, but like I didn't know that. It was my first encounter with the penis. So I was like, oh shit, what do I do? Like, it's hard, but like I thought it was supposed to look like a mushroom. Like, where is this mushroom? And then finally, when I started playing with it, is that I saw that there was a ton of skin that pulled back.
Oh geez.
And I was just like, oh. But in this case, and this goes back to like personal hygiene, there was like a weird smell attached to that.
You got to keep the penis clean, especially if you're uncircumcised.
He had all kinds of walrus action.
The
It
white little
smelled
white
like
action
walrus.
going on.
Yeah.
Oh, tartar sauce.
So
in the penis.
I was like, oh my
Now you're
goodness.
using the food.
Might as well.
Because like so the head or the glands with uncircumcised men is covered by all the skin. So I guess there's a lot of sweat or whatever. But anyway, in this case,
Isn't
like
that
this
smegma? That
Yeah.
what it's
Smeg-
called?
yes,
That is-
smegma, that's so
There
true.
we go.
That's the correct term. I did forget what it was. But it was it wasn't cool. Like I was like, oh, like can I put the skin back? It's like,
Turn to sender.
Return to sender.
but so that was my very first experience with an uncircumcised penis. I've had other experiences since then where the penis didn't have the weird smell. Like I knew to like pull the skin back, but I've noticed that oral play is much more sensitive with guys that are uncircumcised, which depending on who you are might be a good thing or a bad thing.
Or you like bust nuts like in 2 seconds.
Basically.
You got to train yourself.
Yeah, that's
Hit the fucking dojo. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, man.
So I didn't like that because the type of head game that I bring to the table requires a little bit of stamina.
He wasn't ready. I tried to tap you. I'm sorry, man.
All types of Lex Steel action. Like,
Toes curling. Like, oh. He was never the same.
So I would say that's kind of like, that was a difference. And I didn't like it because it was like either they came really quick just from oral and then they couldn't have sex because, you know, sometimes guys need some breaks, a little recharge. Or it was, I don't know, it was just like not the, like between like the smell thing and like, I don't know. I was just like, this isn't such a great experience. And for whatever reason with circumcised men, I feel that the head is a little bit more developed. Like it has.
Sorry, I can't help it. By the way, guys, we're not dickologists, so we're gonna laugh through this whole shit.
They're little kids.
And what I mean by it was a little bit more developed is that you could actually see like the separation between like the glans part of the penis, and then there's like a little bit of space where it connects to the shaft of the penis. And there's like little nerve endings there that you can play with.
Man, she's doing all kinds of demonstrations with her hands, guys. Like it's just making me laugh, so I'm like pulling away.
There was like more stuff to play with. It's also with an uncircumcised penis because it's kept moist by the skin. It's a little bit more mucousy, whereas like a circumcised penis doesn't have that layer of skin, so the head is dry. And it's a little, I don't know, it's just better to play with. For me, like from a sensational perspective, it's better to play with my tongue or my fingers, etc. So although there's no difference when the penis is inside of you, there is a difference for foreplay. And for foreplay, I'm hands down circumcised penis all the way.
Okay,
Hey.
so 1 point for circumcised penis.
1 point for circumcised dicks out there.
So I think for dudes, you just have to train yourself a little bit more. I don't know if that means getting more head or like, I don't know how you would arrange
Get more
that.
head to last longer. That sounds like an awesome solution. Hey, babe, I gotta get more head so it lasts longer. It's for you. It's for you.
It's for you.
Oh, damn it. 2.5 minutes. We gotta go again. 2:35. Go again.
So those are the differences that I saw. I guess you guys have limited expertise.
Yeah, just our own penis.
Yeah. Like
Anything that I missed?
That's pretty spot on.
On the point.
Yeah, and
more or
then
less.
and then obviously like that decision is made when you're a kid, so you really don't have
Yeah, you don't have really a say.
a say in the matter. Like some people's just personal preference. The
Unless you're
parents,
Jewish, though. 'cause
some
I
are
don't think
religious.
you-
Yeah. But I mean, if you're a guy like, and especially older age, like you should know how to dick hygiene, take care of your dick. Should be washing it when you fucking take a shower every damn time.
No walrus action.
Yeah. Then two, yeah, like the sensitivity you should know by now. Like, a little bit more sensitive.
Yeah.
Puppies and baseballs, I don't come early.
Yeah.
No,
Oh man. All right. I don't know, Lina D. You seem like you on the money. So, gotta ask this question. And guys, this is a weird fucking question, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. You play with the guy's prostate before?
I've wanted to.
Oh Jesus.
So, I mean, we talked about pleasure centers when we talked about like the vulva and where all the nerve endings are and stuff.
Yeah.
So obviously with men, we've said before the whole penis has like 4,000 nerve endings, right? So it's very sensitive. I don't know how it's more sensitive than vagina sometimes, but anyway. But you also then have the balls, which
very, very important, ladies. We'll get to that.
So the balls are another pleasure center. So obviously there's the head, there's the shaft, there's all sorts of like rotating movement. So like what I would say before we get into the male G-spot is that the entire penis is sensitive. And you have to know what to do with different parts of the penis, like the shaft and the base versus the head, when you're giving oral. Because I think once you're penetrated, at that point it becomes more
It's on us at that point.
well, no, I think at that point it's more about your athletic ability as a woman, because there's also tricks that you could do with your vagina to the head of the dick versus the shaft of your dick, and like how you like either if you can hover and squat over it and you can contract your vaginal muscles like
Kegel exercises, like we
Kegels
mentioned,
and stuff. Like you can actually control where that pressure feels. Like you can either, if you want to be if you want to be like crafty about it, you just like leave that shit on the head and it'll drive him nuts. Or you do that shit on the shaft, which is like kind of like even distribution. So I that's just something I do with my vagina, but it's something that's a little bit harder to master. Versus when you're giving head, you have all the control between using your mouth and your hands. So kind of how we talked about men, you got to at least be using like your fingers, your tongue, like your penis. Like you have all these different things that you can use to sort of pleasure the penis. Or, I mean, in that case, it was pleasure the vagina. For the penis, it's the same thing. So in terms of going down on a man, like I like to twirl my tongue around the head of the dick. But because it's a very sensitive area, I also try to distribute that by sort of like massaging the shaft of the penis with both of my hands.
There you go.
There you go.
Because I got to say, there's some ladies out there, they just focus on the tip, and it's going to drive you crazy, man. Like, I got, like, ladies, like, don't, when you're like, oh, I'm going to suck it or whatever, don't just focus on the head. Like, that's you violated blowjob etiquette.
A lot of rookie blowjob.
Like, don't do that. You got to even it. It's got to be shaft, tip. It's not like tip, shaft. Like that. That is a game. That's a game ender.
Don't be afraid to cheat and do a little hand job in there while you suck.
Yeah.
Like it's.
The thing is, it's like, so obviously the perfect scenario is that you just use your mouth the whole time. But some ladies complain about like their jaw being sore. They
Excuses.
They say they have gag reflex, like they can't like swallow the whole thing. Because I would say that, I mean, one of my favorite things to do is to deep throat the
dick. We have entered another level here. Okay. All right.
But that is one of my favorite things to do, because I actually, even though I know it's kind of like a part of giving an amazing like hand job and a blow job, like using your hand and your mouth, I'd rather just use my mouth. And then I do like easy thing and just play with the balls, because like that's the easy thing to do. But for women that don't want to necessarily have the dick all up in their throat, what I recommend is like doing.
That's not an option.
Yeah.
What she's about to say, ignore women.
Yeah.
But continuing to do.
Sorry. Set the bus out.
No, because sometimes it's not sustainable. And that's the thing. You have to learn what you're comfortable doing and what you're not. And sometimes it's just not sustainable to have a dick down your throat for more than like 2 minutes for some women. So, and sometimes they would say like maybe a minute or 30 seconds is pushing it. But what I'm saying is that you can, if you know your tolerance with how much you can tolerate having a dick down your throat, you do it selectively. You're like, okay, right, I have it down. It's been there for 5 seconds. Your saliva, like your tongue, like when it's down in your throat, you should be using your tongue to massage the shaft of the dick as you're deep throating it.
Oh man, this is advanced. Anyway,
let's
let's
hope y'all taking notes later.
Yeah.
So if you're not capable of doing that, just make sure you leave some saliva behind, and then you proceed and start using your hands. And like, you use your left hand, your right hand on the base, and the other one on top of it, whatever it is. And then you move one clockwise and the other counterclockwise. And then you do that motion around the shaft, which will get him really happy. And then you're kind of just like sort of sucking on the head, not going too crazy because he's gonna like, I don't know, go crazy.
Blow that money shot.
But so that's what that's my tips for like giving pleasure to the penis. But then obviously you can play with the balls, so you can kiss the balls, suck on the balls, get teabagged if you're up
into
for
that kind of stuff. Mushroom stamps.
The amount of women that forget about the balls, like
80%, 70%.
it's probably more than that. It's damn near almost all like never ever get the balls. I'm like,
Well, what if they don't like doing the ball thing because like they don't know you like that? You know, that could be a thing.
do it first.
I mean,
and
I
let
don't
me
know.
Say I don't
I'm just
like
trying
it.
to. I'm just looking at it from the other side. I don't fucking know.
What if I don't like the clitoris? I'm never gonna do it. Like, no.
Yeah, that's true.
Get the balls. Let me tell you, I don't like it.
So I guess like, what do you mean? So like, I know that I like to lick the balls and suck on the balls, but remember we talked about
The hair
women
stuff.
not liking the hair. So let's say you're the dude that doesn't manscape. When it comes
don't
to
do it.
when it comes to ball action, what would you prefer?
Oh,
Like,
well,
what are some of the tips for the ladies? Because I mean, I
for
can
the
give
guy who doesn't manscape?
for the guy that doesn't
Oh,
manscape.
You just
or,
gotta touch them. Like if you, I mean,
Yeah.
I'll understand if you don't want to like lick those balls because they're hairy. Like who wants to lick hair?
Yeah.
Like what the
I'm
fuck?
not saying do that.
Yeah,
but
we're not saying do all that. Like,
it needs
come on, there needs to be some
type of
give and
visit.
take.
Yeah,
like here
some
with
type
this
of
one.
attention.
Yeah, but if there's no attention, then we got some problems.
And it's usually no attention to the balls. Like, none. That shit is lonely.
That's just lonely. It's like,
but it feels good, right?
Feels
I guess.
amazing.
Yeah.
Feels amazing.
So like, you
Feels
know,
amazing to touch the coin purse. So yeah.
Coin.
but I mean, I like that's what I do like to give some oral love to the balls. But in what you're saying is that at a minimum, just touch them softly, like cup them, I guess. Like
Cup
it's-
them, acknowledge their presence.
Yes.
Like, hey, nice to meet you. Squeeze, cool, suck, lick, more advanced, but at least acknowledge their presence, and then
Okay.
They're
you can
there.
build up from there.
They exist.
So that's the other pleasure center. And then finally getting to what I'm saying is the male G spot. There's the prostate. And so
I'm
so
cool.
Brock is over here shaking his head.
I'm good on this.
Yeah.
So are you
Forget I
guys,
even asked that question.
wait, are you seriously like don't even want to talk about the prostate?
No,
the
you can talk
Yeah,
about
yeah,
it.
yeah, we can talk about it. We
uh,
just don't really have experience with
Yeah.
prostates and touching them.
Why haven't like I mean,
My
remember how
prostate is a
I was a
virgin.
huge I was a huge advocate of like women playing with themselves.
Okay.
And I think men should also explore all of their pleasure centers.
Rather
So
play
you-
video games.
Yeah, so you want me to say on this podcast right now that you want me to put some kind of prostate massager or dildo in my butt? Is that what you're telling
No,
me right
so
now?
see that's where you're wrong.
Oh, okay. I'm wrong. Okay, so
That's-
what does it entail then?
so-
Please educate me.
To play with the prostate, you don't necessarily have to put something in your butt.
Okay, pasta.
Continue.
Continue.
You may proceed.
with caution.
So this is what's interesting. And I mean, like, obviously not all the dudes are lining up for me to play with their butt. But
Not with that tagline. Hey, let me play with your butt.
but I actually haven't felt like the inside of a prostate before.
What?
Like I haven't like put my, because doctors do that. I mean, like when you go
Yeah,
get a
to test
prostate exam,
for cancer. Yeah.
yeah, the doctor has to put their fingers up your
Move
butt
the
to make
butt, and
sure
then they,
that
like,
it's
rubber
normal.
on the prostate to make sure everything's all good.
So even though I have a PhD,
PhD.
I have not physically played with one. But
But
according to the research out there, or like people that know about this stuff because they're real doctors, the size of the prostate actually varies man to man. And it could either be the size of a walnut, kind of like how we were talking about, like the texture of a walnut for a woman for her G-spot, or it could be like the size, like a lot smaller, like a bean or something.
Okay.
So it's all dependent on the man. But the prostate has a ton of nerve endings, which is why it could be a lot more pleasurable for a man who also gets prostate stimulation. However, it doesn't always have to be an internal stimulation. So you can actually play with what you call the gooch,
the gooch.
Gooch, yeah.
which is called the perineum.
I think so. I'm not sure.
Perineum, I think, is the actual.
I think yeah. I don't know what I said last time, but I think that's what it was. I call it the gooch. So
But if a woman or if you play with that and you apply pressure around that area, that can actually stimulate your prostate and enhance the pleasure of your orgasm. So it makes your orgasm stronger. It amplifies your orgasm. So you're not putting anything up your butt, but you're just playing with another part of your whatever. I don't know.
This is gray territory, though.
How's that gray territory? You're not
for a heterosexual male. Like, it's just a little, I don't know.
So you wouldn't let a woman play with that part, the perineum,
with the gooch area?
With the gooch area.
A drunken night, I'm not, even then, I'm not even sure. I don't know. This is weird.
I don't know why you think it's so weird. Because it's just another pleasure center. And you don't want anything on your butt.
I'm not saying shit. Like, it's all me. I'm taking all this heat right now. So and he's just giving faces.
So you
I wish I could see the face on faces right now.
So you've never been curious about getting more pleasure from sex?
I mean, I've had a girl lick that area before, like the gooch area. And even then, I was like, I don't know about this.
Well, the licking isn't enough pressure for it to actually amplify your orgasm.
I was like, I don't know about this, but...
Then she has to know what she's doing. I mean, if you don't even know
if
what
you
to do
don't
with
know,
the balls, I don't know if I trust you. This next level shit.
That's why I'm saying that maybe you want to play with it for yourself.
But I feel like you need a next level like woman or next level partner to do this extra shit with. Like, you can't just... I feel like with some guys, like, they're not just going to be like, oh, just anybody does that. Like, you got to be some next level freak and they'll like let you do that. You know what I mean? So... you got the screw face on too. Look at you.
I mean, I'm just saying that, like, I don't understand how you don't want to play with something that feels good.
But it really feels good.
Yeah, I would say.
On the dickhead.
Yeah. What's currently being done feels amazing. So we're going to stick with that.
Well,
I'm not trying to be like weird about it, but
it's still, so all I'm saying is that it's a pleasure center for women that, I don't know, what if like, there's a girl that just, I don't know, this is a bad example. But like, let's say she's willing to give you head, but not all the time, but she really wants to play with that part of your, like,
so
package.
She's alternating between blowjobs and prostate stimulation?
Yeah.
I don't know about, I don't know. Like, it's just like, it's too close to the butthole. You know what I'm saying?
But why are you so, like, anti-butthole?
Is for pooping.
We're so immature.
But okay, so are you saying that you're also anti putting your penis in a woman's house?
Currently, yes.
So you're against anal sex?
Yes.
From time to time, I am.
From time to time, you're what?
I'm against it.
Now,
what is true? I'm like 50-50.
Whatever.
One day, maybe I'm up to anal. The other day, I'm like, vagina's good enough for me.
All I'm saying is that it's a part of your body, and you should probably be comfortable exploring it.
Yo, bro, I'm not taking more of this heat. Fuck this, yo. I'm so done. I'm taking too much heat. I'm taking too much heat, yo.
I'm driving this big ass bus right now.
Yeah, he's up to this bullshit. I'm taking all this heat for no reason.
We'll move on from the prostate.
Yeah. Wow, I'm disappointed in you. Anyway, ladies.
Every veteran has a limit.
Anyway, ladies, all I'm saying is that I just have some knowledge right now, dished it out. So if you want
just
to
get
apply,
prepared to like get punched in the face though. Like if you get too
no,
close to
I'm
that
not
butthole,
saying
I'm just
like
saying.
no, and I'm not saying just go on and start putting fingers around there, but it should be a conversation.
Oh, oh no!
It should be a
You in the
conversation.
shower curled up like, oh my god.
I'm not coming outside.
If you feel like your sex life has gotten a little boring, if you're not really coming as hard as you used to before,
Wait, what?
all I'm saying is that this could be an option for the partners to talk about and
have less sex, and then the next time you're gonna be shooting ropes. Okay, how about that?
Some strong force.
Stop draining that guy's nuts constantly. How about that one?
All I'm saying is that it's an option for men that are more open-minded.
What?
Moving on.
Who's
All right, yeah, we'll move on from the prostate. All right, so growers versus showers. So pretty self-explanatory for those of you who don't know. Grower, a guy who's a grower is a little small penis when it's soft, then gets hard, gets big.
Yeah.
And then shower, what you see is what you get. Shit's going to be exactly the same, soft versus hard.
Yeah.
Lina
hard.
D, do you have a preference or does it not matter?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Actually, take us through, what kind of, have you seen growers and shows?
Oh, I've seen all types of shit.
Oh my God.
And there's both. You could be both. You could be a grower and a shower.
Yeah.
Grow and show.
Grow and show.
Oh
That's
my
best. Like, all the power.
So there's been people that are dudes. What do I call them again?
Growers?
No, the dude's name. I forgot what I call him.
Carl.
Carls.
Yes,
There's been Carls. There's been Carls that have flaccid just been like baby arm, and it's like, oh shit. And then when they get hard, obviously it gets bigger, which is like fun. Like, I don't get scared off by like big penises. I know some women do, but I think it's fun.
Wendy's like,
I know some women are scared off by them, so I don't mind them. I like the showers that then turn into growers. I'm all for them. Not for just showers. So like if like the way that it looks is the way that it's gonna look when you're hard. There was this one time I was with this Carl and we were making out, foreplay kind of thing, and I was like, okay, I felt what it felt like. It's small, but maybe he'll grow. So that's what I'm thinking. And then all of a sudden he says, oh my God, my dick is so hard right now.
Lindy's like, I could cup this in a couple fingers.
And then,
about all this shit.
And then I did this. Like, I literally like touched around his crotch. And then I was like, where? And then he was like,
pause.
Yeah, you only get smaller from there.
Game ending moment.
And he's like, right now, he's like, touch it. And I'm like, at that point, I was just done.
Touch
I was
what?
I was like, you know what? I'm getting a little tired. And then he's like, what do you mean you're tired? I was like, I'm just tired. I'm gonna
yawn
go.
like, oh.
And then I yawned and I flipped over and like went to sleep.
Damn.
And I was like, maybe he'll leave. I woke up the next morning. He was still fucking there. And I was like, why are you still here? He's like, oh, I thought we were going to finish where we left off. And I was like, leave.
Damn, that's
yeah,
crazy.
I've seen those. And then I've seen the ones that just look average. And it's like, oh, like it looks average. But then, it grows. So it's good. It has like a good amount of girth. That's the thing. It's like you can never tell when it's flaccid, the girth that it's going to have. Because sometimes it just ends up getting like really thick.
On some chameleon status. There you go.
So I don't think it matters. Like, I think you have to kind of be open-minded. Like, you're not just going to feel a bulge and know exactly what it's like at 100%. And that's the thing too. It's like some men get hard, but then they have the potential for getting harder. You just have to know what to do.
Hey, that's Super Saiyan level 2 right there.
Get stronger throughout the session.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you got bigger. Yes, I did. Surprise, motherfucker.
But I don't think it matters. I just think that you have to be comfortable with, I mean, like as a woman, you know what you like. If you don't like big dicks, like you're not going to fuck around with a guy that has big dick. So you just got to know.
And what about, so erections? So in terms of, I guess, going back to back, like how likely is that to happen? Is there a lag time between first session, second session? What's your preference? Tell us about.
So I've experienced a lot of them. So I've experienced a dude that comes once and then he can't get it hard because he like passes out
on hard.
And then like he just falls asleep and then he's like, no, like I'm done. Like he's good. Like he's good. So he got his, he didn't care about me getting mine, which those are annoying. I feel that if you, or in my experience, I will say, is that if you do a lot of foreplay, like oral foreplay, that actually is basis for him to come and then he'll be able to keep going. At least that's been my experience with my partners. But not every dude is like that because there's some dudes that need recovery time. It could be anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes. Sometimes you guys got to go out and get a drink and then have some dinner and then come back and do it again.
Hey,
So it all depends on the dude.
Popeye's on deck.
But every dude is different. And then this is, I think, the big piece is that not every guy is going to have the same patterns. So you just have to kind of figure it out. And if you don't want to spend time figuring out, just ask. Especially when you start out. But I know that a lot of ladies want to impress the guy in the beginning, so they're not going to ask all these questions.
Okay, $1 million question, blah, blah, blah. Is size important? That's what we're trying to get at.
Is size important?
Yeah, like how big does the dick have to be?
Yeah, what's the minimum size for
For the freak Lina D, what is the size that she needs to get her rocks off?
At least like 6 inches.
Oh. Well.
Is that the average?
Yeah.
The average.
But there's tinier
That was
ones out
very
there.
anticlimactic, actually. I was really expecting more, but okay.
I mean, like, not every dude has a 10-inch cock.
Hey. That's
Walk
anaconda.
around knocking shit over. Yeah, motherfucker, I'm in the place.
That's anaconda stamps right there. Pow, pow.
And the thing is, in my experience, just because the cock is bigger doesn't mean that they're better in bed. So I've been with like some pretty big dudes that it's just that they put so much on the fact that they have a big cock that they think that they just put it in and the woman's going to come. And as we talked about in the last 2 episodes, Juice Box Monologues, the 2 episodes that we had, penetration isn't the only way to make a woman come and orgasm.
And is the least likely to make orgasm.
Exactly. So it's like you got these big cock dudes like swinging that shit around. Like,
Hey, Mandingo status.
Mandingo.
and it's
Like
like
steel
not,
status.
it's like, nah, motherfucker, you got to swing around the tongue, the fingers, everything. Like, it's not just your dick that's going to do it for me. And I found that the guys that the bigger they are, the more cocky they are. Like, no pun intended. And they're just not up for the other shit. Whereas like when you got a dude that has a smaller penis, he's willing to like, go all up into those walls with his fingers, his tongue, his face. Like, they're just much more, like, the guys that aren't as big are much more adventurous about stuff because they know that they got to make up for the fact that their penis isn't that big.
All right.
Which is why it doesn't make sense. Is then if you have a bigger penis and you do all the other stuff, fucking unicorn status.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm talking
doesn't
about.
make sense. And it's not that hard, as we talked about in the Juice Box Monologues, to just practice, motherfucker.
Yeah. So are you a girth person or like a length person?
So I care more about girth than length. Because, I mean, just because it's long doesn't do anything. And I mean, it's actually physically what you're reaching my cervix. Is that supposed to be making me feel better? Like,
gotcha.
It's
You're on some burrito status right now.
like the girth. I think the girth does a couple things that women don't think about. And it all depends on the angle of the position. But the thicker the girth, the more likely it is that the shaft of his penis can rub on your clit while you're having sex.
Oh, okay.
Which is another like bonus in terms of stimulus. And then the guys that have a thicker dick, because this is a thing that I don't think people realize, and I guess I'll ask you because like you have one.
What?
But
what the fuck?
But when you're
come on, man.
No.
Put me on blast
no,
like that.
I'm just asking.
Go.
No,
Describe your penis.
God damn.
no,
Yes, remain a
you're not
mystery.
even letting me finish the freaking question. Calm the fuck down. You guys are so fucking mature.
Yes, we are.
So, when your penis is erect and you put it inside the woman's vagina, do you feel it bending?
A slight curvature.
Yeah.
But is that something that you feel when you're putting it in?
Yeah, me anyway.
Yeah, okay. So, I don't think most women know that the penis bends when it goes in.
Yeah. That was a...
I don't think women, I didn't really think that much about it until I was like, well, if my G-spot's all the way up here on the front side of the walls of my vagina, how the hell is it that it's reaching it sometimes?
There's a homing missile. Zoop.
Because the penis actually kind of conforms to the size of the vagina or like the shape of the vagina. So a penis that has a wider girth is more likely to be able to then reach your G-spot. So it's better for you to have like a penetration orgasm if the penis is stimulating your G-spot. So I'm all for girth. The length doesn't do any of that shit. Sometimes it's just like, oh, okay, whatever.
Okay.
So for me, I'm a girth.
Manscaping?
And manscaping is super important. Because it makes me more excited. So when I see that a guy has manscaped,
ta-da! Here's the dick, and it's clean.
I get super excited. Like I'm willing to like rub the balls all over my face, like everything.
Take notes, ladies. Ball rubbing.
Ball rubbing.
But so it's just
advanced teabagging.
So it makes me much more excited to play with it. But actually, there was a survey about this stuff, and like the whole question, does size really matter as much as women say that it matters? And according to the study that they did, 21.4% said that it's not important at all.
Lying.
67.4% said that it's somewhat important. And then 11.2% said that it's very important. Damn. So you literally just have like a tenth of women saying that size absolutely matters. But what they did say that matters more instead of like the size is the girth. So obviously girth plays into size, but I think guys typically think about size as the length of the penis when it's erect.
Yeah, 100%.
But usually it's girth that's a little bit more important.
Oh, okay.
And
fill out the
manscaping.
vagina. That's what
The
it's all
shitty
about.
thing of all this is that what you're born with, like you can't change any of that. Just fucked. Got a little.
There
penis,
are some dick surgeries out there, but I'm not
trust that
fucking with
shit.
this.
Nah,
I don't trust
man.
it.
Mm-mm.
Like, so I'm all
good to go.
on that.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, and the last but another very, very important question: the skeet or more technical term, ejaculation.
Hey.
So we'll go with a couple goodies here.
Yeah.
What does it taste like, and is it bad to swallow?
So the reason that I'm laughing is because there's so many answers to that question, because not every semen tastes the same.
Oh, Jesus.
And even for the same man, it might taste different. So I mean, I had this one time, because fun fact about ejaculate or semen when it's coming out, when it's shooting out,
ropes,
it travels at 28 miles per hour.
Smacks you right in the face.
Do you know how like fast that is? Like some people don't even run that fast.
That's so true. Your semen can move faster than you can. Like, hold up, motherfucker.
So, fun fact, which if you guys are Insecure fans, you guys know that we love to watch that show.
Yeah.
And shit that can happen when like a dude is coming and he just like explodes and it just lands in the wrong part. Like in her case, I think it hit her eye.
Her eyes.
Yeah. So I've had that happen to me before, and it's not the most fun part. But that wasn't even the funny story. The funny story was that I was going down on the dude that I said was uncircumcised. And at this point, he should have already gotten like the hang of it, because we were having sex for, I don't know, it was like month 2 or month 3. And I'm giving him head. And I told him, I was like, remember, I don't want you to come in my mouth, but I want to make you orgasm by giving you head. Because usually it would just be foreplay and then we would have sex. But this was like the one time I was like, I'm willing to do it. Just don't come in my mouth. Like, warn me. You can come on my boobs if you want. Yeah. Like, whatever. Just don't come in my mouth. And we're like into it and stuff. And then I could kind of feel his like penis gyrating in my mouth. So I stopped.
The little mini seizure.
And so I stopped and I was like, are you going to come right now? He's like, no, I'm not close yet. Like it feels like that, but I'm not going to come. And I was like, are you sure?
He's lied.
And then he's like, yeah. And I was like, so I kept doing it. And then like within 30 seconds, he explodes in my mouth.
Oh, Jesus.
And then I was just like, and I was like, and then I was so pissed, but I was like, I'm going to get you back, motherfucker. Because I asked you, I felt that fucking dick gyrating because I knew you were going to fucking come. And so I kind of like, I don't know how the hell I managed to do this, but I was able, so I swallowed some of it and it tasted awful. Like rotting sour cream.
Oh.
And at that point, I was like so much more angry because 1, I knew you were going to come. 2, we had already established that you weren't coming in my mouth. And 3, you neglected to tell me that you were actually coming when I had already asked you about it. So I was pissed. I was livid. But I didn't act like I was livid. So I swallowed some of it, took like the taste, and I was like, oh, and I saved some under my tongue.
Oh no, I know what's gonna happen. Oh,
so
shit.
I was like, what the fuck, babe? Like, I told you that not to come in my mouth. Like, why did you do that? And he's like, I'm so sorry. It felt so good. I just needed to let it out. And I was like, but you could have come anywhere else. And he's like, no, I just need to let it out. And I was like, okay, fine. Well, as a reward, I want a kiss.
Oh, I knew this was coming.
So he's like, okay. So he kisses me, and I spit whatever had left under my tongue into his mouth.
You snowballed him.
He's never gonna do that again.
Motherfucker.
He's never gonna do that again.
And he's like, oh my God, this tastes awful. And I was like, well, motherfucker, that's why I told you not to come in my fucking mouth. But you're welcome. So it tasted awful, and I like ended up swallowing half of it and then spitting the other half into his mouth. But there are other times where I've actually enjoyed how the cum tastes. Sometimes it's tasted like a sour tart kind of thing. Like,
A good thing.
it's like kind of sour, but it was kind of sweet, but a little bit more on the tartness. So there's been
Like Sour Patch Kids.
not Sour Patch Kids, because Sour Patch Kids are too sweet.
Okay.
But maybe if you did like 2% sugar Sour Patch Kids, like, so I like Sour Patch Kids, so I like the taste of it. And then when he's eaten a lot of fruit, it gets a little bit sweeter too.
Yeah, this semen is diet based. He's probably eating shit before this, and it's not instant like that pineapple shit. Like when you're young, it's like, oh, drink or eat pineapples, and then it seems gonna taste like pineapples. Yes and no. It's not instant. You can't go out, order some vodka pineapples, have sex. It's gonna instantly taste like fucking pineapple.
Especially because you had all that fucking vodka.
Yeah, vodka's gonna overpower the smidget of pineapple puree you have in there.
Man, oh man. Well, I'll go through what 13 women said what it tasted like. Let's go through this. Fresh oysters.
Ew.
Oof.
Old pennies. Creamy chlorine cleanser.
Why the fuck you?
Black truffle.
I don't know what black truffle
I
is.
have no idea what that is either.
I know what truffle is.
Yeah, she was very specific.
And I know what truffle butter is. But I don't know what black truffle is.
Balloons.
Ew.
The balloons thing caught me way off guard.
Some weird ass comparisons. How do you even know
Yeah.
what these stuff tastes
I
like?
don't know. Salty mushrooms. Salty seawater. Soap.
Soap does not taste good.
I know. Slimy pool water.
Ew. Who'd be tasting slimy pool water?
I don't know. Tasteless gibber. Salty goo. Bad sour cream. And my personal favorite shampoo.
The bad sour cream I've had, it's awful.
Oh man.
The other ones were different. Like, I mean,
Balloons. Like what the fuck?
I don't think I've ever tasted balloons.
Like probably when you blow in the balloon, you get the little latex
Little
taste
bit.
or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that must have been because she probably gave him head after like the condom was on.
Oh,
That
that's
makes
her damn
sense
fault.
now.
Yeah.
You gotta
That
plan
makes
better.
sense.
Balloons.
She called a condom a balloon. Oh shit.
But oh, that's interesting. But I don't know. I don't mind swallowing. It's not bad. Like, it's not going to harm me or anything. It's like additional protein.
Exactly. There we go. Sell it to the ladies out there.
It's like if you're working out at the gym and you're trying to make some gains, gets you some extra protein in your macros for the day.
Oh my
Exactly.
gosh.
That's a lot of support right
If
there.
it fits your macros, semen. Wasn't there a woman that was like, after her daily workout, she had like semen? She had semen. I
Wait,
don't remember.
what?
There was an
You're going to have
article.
to find that article.
I
Like,
gotta
we have
find
to
the
share
article.
it.
We're
with
gonna
our
share it.
Yeah, we'll
listeners.
try to share it on the
But
next
like
episode.
what she would do, and I'm pretty sure I've seen something about it where she had semen as part of like her regimen. not fucking lying here.
So was it that she would get home from the gym and like make her man come or something? Or did she have like
that.
a little bottle
She
of
had
it?
like some bottle or something like that. She would save it or I forgot how she did the collection process.
Yeah, what the saying?
Yeah, like
This sounds this sounds a little suspect.
I was just like, what? Semen for real?
Yeah, like a milkman, just ready.
Oh, I do want to get back to one thing though. When we were talking about manscaping, because I did say that it's something that's important that most women like. What are some of your tips for manscaping?
Don't use a straight razor.
Yeah.
Clearly,
Yeah, you're not trying to bleed and get razor bumps.
So this is what I do. So for like the top up area, I'll use like Nair. I know that sounds weird. I don't use Nair on the bottom stuff, but like just to get rid of like all the hair up top, I'll use Nair. But then when it comes to the bottom stuff, I actually do use a safety razor inside the shower. Couple reasons why I do that is because a lot of times like guys go straight down with it, like, oh my God, like this. But what I tend to do is I'd like to turn up a little bit and kind of like go with because your balls go with the curvature because your balls get really smooth and stuff like that. So yeah, those are my tips, but everybody's different.
Yeah,
I wouldn't recommend Nair around the nuts area. Like I do for like the top.
Any pores.
Yeah, like it's like I do it from like the top, like that little mini area that you have where the hair grows the most. That's where I do it, and then the rest I safety razor that bitch. So.
I go the manscaping only beard trimmer. So don't mix and match that shit. Don't use the actual fucking beard trimmer for your nuts in your pelvis area. Just get a beard trimmer only for your nuts area. And then also in the shower, you can do that. Yeah.
And then do it in the shower.
Like, showers, the cleanup is easier.
Exactly. Yeah.
Although you're probably not supposed to do that, but fuck it.
Yeah. No, you're not. But it's just like, I can't express this enough. Like I don't usually dry ball that one. I'm just super scared.
Yeah.
Like I'm always in the shower when I do this. Yeah. So, and I've had relative success with it. I've been doing it for 10 years, 12 years. So. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let us know what you think about today's episode. Just hit us up on our contact us form at NoFreeDrinks.com. Or if you're lazy like me, which is all the time, you can hit us up at NoFreeDrinks@gmail.com.
And for a special announcement, No Free Drinks will be kicking off a special giveaway soon. Make sure that you're subscribed to our newsletter, The Nightcap, to get the early bird details. You can subscribe by visiting our website, NoFreeDrinks.com, and it's right on the homepage. This is Lina D. Kisses.
This is Wesley. Peace out, Girl Scouts.
Hey guys, this is Brock. Make love, not babies.